All right, so analysis and modeling. This is assuming that you have collected the FBSQC information. Yeah, because I cannot wait. This is already week 7. So hopefully because the reason why I introduced this to you, because you will get the idea of what are the things that you should ask. So you will get the information and you have something to put inside the tables and the diagram. So I show you what are the things that I expect from you, yeah, in the tables and the diagrams, right? Okay. As usual, we would like to know where we are now. So I assuming that we have complete the requirement elicitation here. We get lots of data when you complete your assignment, and then from there we can go to the requirement analysis, okay, and produce meaningful information from all the data that we get from the elicitation process, okay. And hopefully during your elicitation activities, I hope that you did not actually face any conflict. Otherwise, you have to do some negotiation between your stakeholders. But I believe it does not happen, yeah, because we just go on collecting and combine and compile them, right? So it will happen if there are if there are two strong client, yeah, and they have their own opinion. Usually there will be conflict, yeah. Or sometimes if you choose workshop, yeah, or focus group interview, meaning that there are more than one people at one time. So maybe at that time they will argue. So at that time you need the negotiation skill, yeah. But I believe none that happened to you, yeah. Okay, so for this requirement analysis, once you have produced the meaningful information, from there we will create diagrams, yeah, diagrams, yeah. During the analysis we can create tables already, and during modeling we start producing diagrams from there, yeah. Okay, so what do we produce during this analysis and modeling? So we will produce solution-oriented artifacts. Okay, so remember when we do elicitation, the artifacts that we produce is called initial artifacts. It will be the first level one will become the foundation. The data that we get will become the foundation. And level 2 is we try to collect as much as the requirements from the user, because we want to know what they actually need or what they want, yeah, or how we can do it, yeah. So that is what about elicitation. So from there we'll take all the information, they do analysis, and we will actually enhance or improve the data, not data, the information, and we try to propose some solution, okay. So that is where we will actually define all the functions that should be in our app. So if you have lots of functions that you listed inside your domain statement, I give you freedom, yeah, to choose only 5 of them. You can choose 5 of them from the list that you have inside the domain statement, because if it's too many then it will be too much, so you have to get lots of information, kan? So you can choose 5, the most interesting one, 5 the most related one to the hobby that is supposed to be that secondary app, kan? So choose the best 5 functions that you want to put inside your app. If you want to do more, then up to you, yeah, but the marks will be the same, like the people who actually create 5 use 5 functions. So I don't say that it will be same. It depends on the quality, of course, but the workload will be more, right? So I give you to choose which function that you want. Um, at least 5, at least 5 function from the thing that you listed inside the domain statement, yeah. So make sure that when for the 5 functions, if you create an app with that 5 function, yeah, not including other small function like login or registration, etc., not included that one. So these 5 functions will actually become something that people want to download or want to install, something that people want to use, yeah. Don't just pick any function and then it doesn't become any proper app. So pick carefully, yeah. All right. So solution oriented means that it will become the solution. That app will become the solution for those people with the hobbies that have some problem. So that app will become a solution for them. Okay? Hopefully you get that. Okay. Right. I'm not going to go through the rest of the activities. We'll focus on the analysis and modeling only for today. Yeah. All right. So what you shall learn, the expected outcome. Yeah. The solution oriented. Okay. The artifacts may include. So I listed 10 here. 10 include table and diagrams. Yeah. 10 artifacts. Okay, we have user class definition table where you have to define the user, each of the user, any of the user involved that actually use that app. It can be the hobbies, the people who have that hobby. It can be maybe if you need admin, then you can have admin. But usually for mobile app, we don't need admin. Yeah. Usually we don't need admin. If it's web-based system, then usually they have. Yeah, for app usually we don't need admin. Okay, we maybe they have admin, but when you are talking about solution, we don't actually provide a specific menu for the admin inside the app. Okay, if they are admin, they might be administer database or anything. They are doing it outside, not inside the app. There's no menu specifically for the admin inside a mobile app. Okay, that's what I mean. Okay, so maybe they are admin who administer the database or any of the technology involved, right? So maybe they are, but in the solution oriented artifacts, we don't include them because there are no screen display or menu for them inside the mobile app. Okay. All right. And then we have product function, user access function table, which user can use which function, that's what it means. Yeah. And then we have functional requirements. So product functions and functional requirements is almost the same, except that product function is just a description. It's a more general, whereas the functional requirement is something that you have to put some code. Yeah, you have to choose verb plus noun, the name for the function, and that is exactly the name that you will use inside the diagram. Okay, so this is where you coded all the functions that you explained generally before this. Yeah. Okay, and then we have the list for the constraint. Yeah, and then the list for the quality. So these are all coming from your elicitation data. It doesn't come from you. It comes from your stakeholders. So if it's not inside the data, they obtained from the stakeholders, meaning that you should not put them in. Yeah. So it's not something coming from you. It has to come from the users. Yeah. Unless you have done lots of elicitation and you find out that these functions is required, then only you can put them in. Yeah. But for the first version, you have to focus on the user requirements. Yeah, you don't use your own opinion. Yeah. Okay. And then okay, so these are the analysis things that you have to produce during analysis stage, and then more detailed tables and diagram. This is when you are ready to model them into diagrams and use case description. Yeah, the more detailed one. Because it's something that can help with the visualization, yeah, because we have more interesting representation. So much easier, much interesting for the reader to read your document, yeah, your SRS. All right. So where point of activities, example of artifacts, I believe you understand. This is the analysis. So what we produce is meaningful information, yeah, from data that we derive. For example, when you have interviewed somebody and you have been asking about function A, all the detail about function A, what are the expected behaviors, for example, maybe the app will actually send a notification email at the end of the function A, and then for the function B, you have some constraint, blah, blah, blah. So you have all the detail, and then from there, you can actually just scan and analyze briefly, and you can see that, oh, okay, this is sufficient, and you can start doing the analysis when you have complete all the elicitation process, you can start doing the analysis and you can actually derive the information from there. So that is how we can get the meaningful information, yeah. And the details, the data, expected artifact is coming from the list that I mentioned just now in the previous slide. Okay, so modeling, diagrams and model. So they are actually something interrelated, yeah, analysis and modeling. That's why they are inside one phase, one stage, analysis and modeling. Because when you creating the tables for the analysis, you are actually modeling as well, but it's just initial modeling, yeah. However, the information are still very meaningful, still presentable, yeah, meaning that all the 10 artifacts that I mentioned just now will be put inside your SRS. Okay, the good thing is once you have done this analysis and modeling, to create the SRS, to write the SRS will be so much easy. So much easy. And this process is not as tedious as elicitation. You can create them in short time, yeah, but maybe a bit tricky when it comes to diagrams, yeah, but for tables I believe you can do that, as long as you know what to put in, yeah. Okay, so these are the list, the 6 for analysis and the 4 for the modeling. So this is the UCDT. UCDT is user class definition. So you have to define each of the user. For example, we're not talking about stakeholders now, yeah? At this stage, at analysis, because we are creating the solution, we are talking about the app that you want to build, yeah? So we are not talking about the stakeholders anymore. Stakeholders are the people who give us information. Okay, so it was after elicitation stage, meaning that we don't actually talk about stakeholders. We are now talking about actors, people who use it, people who do it. Okay, so in user class definition, we can use either, like if you have the name of your application is EasyRan, for example, so you can put as EasyRan app user, for example. Okay, but for your case, you can also retain the same name for stakeholder. For example, you have the for the hobbies, you have photo file, for example, right, for the photography. So photo file under user class can be accepted as well, yeah. But you cannot have, right, the art student under one user class, no, because there are no specific function for them. If they are using the same function like any other, like the other photo file, then it will be under photo file. There will be no art student there. Understand? Okay, I'm talking about the main stakeholders. If you have more than one type during your level 1, one of the main stakeholders, meaning the first one, the person who has that hobby, can be you can use the name as the user class. Either that name, or you can use the name of your app, user. The name of your app, user. You cannot just put user. That is wrong. Yeah, you cannot just put user. No, no, no. You have to name them specifically. Yeah, if you put like general user, specific user, that is wrong. Or just user, that is wrong. Okay, it has to be specific, but you have options whether you want to use the name of the specific term for the people with that hobby, or you can have another name like the name app and then user. Okay, got that? Okay, and for the description, because the scope is for people with hobbies, you have to mention that. Yeah, it's not that a person that is blah blah blah. Yeah, you can say that any, or if it's drawing hobbies, then any drawing hobbies that install the app, and blah 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 to do whatever. Yeah. Okay, got that? Okay. So that is UCDT. So this is the example for product functions. So as you can see, we have managed user. So we have actually some department. We created some department, yeah. And for example, if we have something like to help in the domain statement, to help the hobbies to manage their time. So how do you actually help them to manage their time? So you have to find the function names, because manage their time is very general, right? We cannot visualize what kind of functions that we have to put inside the app. How can we help them to manage the time? So you have to find out the functions. That's why you need to elicit. So you have to ask your stakeholders. How can I help you to manage your time? What do you need? What kind of function do you need inside the app? So let them speak up. Yeah, let them tell you what they need. Okay, so for example, here we have manage house advert. So usually we have that create, delete, edit. Yeah, the CRUD, we call it CRUD. Yeah, create, read, update, delete. The CRUD because it related to something that we keep data inside the database, for example. Yeah, so manage house advertisement. Yeah, this is about renting houses and they have some advertisement. There are also some function for to reserve or book some of the houses, yeah, so that they can rent them. It has to be split into different department. Yeah, so manage house advert is totally about house advert. House reservation is about house reservation. So you have to be able to draw a line between all the functions. Yeah, it can be easy because in the domain statement you already list some of the group of function. Actually, it's actually a department of functions. Yeah. So you can use that and find out exactly what are the functions under this main function, the name that you use inside the domain statement. Okay. Okay. So totally, if you count all these function, this small function here, yeah, under each of this main function, we call this product function. Yeah, this I call it product function. Yeah, the things at your domain statement, we call it product function. Yeah, so this is your product function, and you list out all the function, the exact function that you need, yeah, to apply inside your app. This one. Okay. Usually we don't want more than 15 function, but it can be up to more than 15 lah. Okay, hopefully not that far away from 15. It's good if you can keep it under 15. Yeah, under 15 because we don't want to create too many use cases, yeah, for the app. I want you to keep your app small, all right, to make sure that your workload's not heavy. Yeah, okay. Alright, so that is product function. It's just about description. These are the product function name, and then you have the all the functions should be inside the product function, and some description for it. What is the function is about? Yeah. If you don't put this in, then reader will have some problem to understand what is this function for, what is it about. Yeah. So you have to describe something here. Help your reader, yeah, when they are reading your document. Okay, so user access function table is where each of the small function inside of the product function here. Yeah, so this is what we call functional requirements. Yeah, so this is the function view house advert. Can you see the verb? View is the verb. House adverb is a noun. It's a phrase noun. Yeah, make is a verb. House reservation is a noun. So keep your functional requirements or the functions there under the product function. It has to be verb plus noun or verb plus noun. All right, you have to keep it that way to help you with your diagram, etc. Okay, so this is where you can use them. Okay, you can write directly like here. If you have create account, then you can put create user account. You can do that, but it is better if you can do this way, where you create the verb one, the verb. There's one column for the verbs, and there is column for the nouns. Yeah, this will be very useful for you later. Okay. If you can create this way, the verb is put under one column, the nouns is put under one column, all the verbs that actually relate to the one noun is being put this way. Okay, all right. Okay, so admin, usually I said admin tak semestinya ada. It doesn't have to have admin for mobile app usually, so you can omit this. And also for the login, if there is no need, yeah, to have login, you don't have to put login. Login is not compulsory. Yeah, if it's just like any general like alarm, clock alarm, you don't have to log in to use alarm clock, right? So there are applications that don't need to log in. So it depends on the requirements. Yeah, it depends on the story of your app. So make sure you get that right. Yeah. And also register. Yeah, registration. If you don't have login, then you don't have to register. Yeah. If you don't have login, then you don't have to log out as well. So be careful with the function that you choose. Yeah. All right. Another thing is, as you can see here, house reservation notification, and there are house reservation confirmation notification. So even though it's under notification, they are about different notifications. So you have to split them. Yeah, you have to split them. So make sure you are very careful with the noun that you use inside your product function. Yeah, because it will affect your diagram. It will make your diagram more structured, easily to be understood, or it might make your diagram become messy. So you have to be very careful when you decide on the verb and noun. Yeah. Okay, so these are the example. This is example of functional requirement (FR). Yeah, functional requirement. So this is actually taken from the same thing. As you can see, it is retained from the beginning. Create new house adverb, or create house adverb. Okay, so we have here create house adverb. And we have here also create house adverb. See that? It's synchronize. Not sing a song, synchronize, meaning that it will retain from one part to another part, the same name will be used, yeah, until when you draw the use case diagram, etc. So it has to start from the beginning. So where does that come from? So it has coming from this manage house adverb product function. So you have that name, create that, the verb noun, and you retain that during use as function because that is the function. So use the same name. And then you go to this functional requirement. Functional requirements is about the function. So you have the same name. But of course, in this table, now you have to create the code. Yeah, the code, FRID. So that you can refer to them easily when you are doing any other diagrams or description. Yeah. Okay. So simple table here as you can see. But of course, if you don't get that information, sufficient information, then you will have hard time to create this. Yeah. So you should know by now what are the things that you need to ask your user and get all the information. Yeah. Right. So this is the constraint table. So for each of the question, yeah, about one function, you can ask them about the constraint. Yeah. For example, here we have constraint that for the FR004, which is delete house advert. So it says that for the delete, must delete all advertisement not automatic. So they have to delete themselves. So that's why they have the delete function. Okay, because of the constraint. And also the house advertisement once deleted cannot be retrieved anymore. Okay, it's not that they will keep it temporarily somewhere. No, it will remove totally. So they should be alert with this constraint. Yeah, so it will affect the design later, yeah, how you design the app because of this constraint. Ni contoh lah. So this one general for the app, yeah, generally. So it's something like the app must be installed first before can be used. So that is general about the app, yeah. Or maybe you need internet to use the app. If it's related, then you can put in. But of course, you have to ask your stakeholders to get the information, yeah. Right, it's not coming from you, but of course when it's come to version 2.3, then you can actually do something on that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, one thing is about constraint. Yeah, constraint with word not. Ada tak kat sini? Cannot. Nampak tak? Cannot. Word not. Cannot, must not, should not. It is named as inverse constraint requirements. Okay, why I have to tell you this? Because there will be a specific table inside software requirement specification document where you have to have this table, inverse constraint requirement. So if you have created one table for constraint only, when it comes to the time where you have to specify, you write the document, you have to remove lah. You have to move those with the word not, cannot, should not, must not, to a new table, which is called inverse constraint requirement, because that is what required in the SRS. Itu just I have to tell you right now, because maybe later I forgot to tell you, or maybe you terkejut ke kan. I tak bagi tahu. Okay, so quality table pula. Okay, so this is something similar like the constraint, but this is about quality. And one thing about quality, it has to have the value. The quality value kan. Alright, so for performance, for example, if you say it will be easily downloaded or installed, so what is the expected time? So that we can say it's a good quality. So if they have to wait until 3 minutes, 5 minutes, meaning that is the quality have been degraded, right? So that's how we can actually test the performance. You have to give some value there. As you can see here, almost every quality has their values, like 10 cables, 2 houses at a time, 2 weeks.